Okay, it's a quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. For today's video, it's a very quick one about the rise and rise of the working poor. So, how is this even a thing? How can you be working and still be poor? Well, let me tell you that the Trussell Trust, a massive UK charity, last year they handed out 2.9 million food parcels, which sadly for them is actually a record high. Now, 1 in 8 people working in the UK are now working in poverty. In fact, 42% of people in certain industries, like for example, care workers, service staff, NHS roles even, 42% of people in those roles are actually claiming some form of universal credit top-up because their wages are not enough, their incomes are too low. It might be that they've not got enough hours because their jobs are being shared, whatever. But they're in a situation where they're having to claim top-ups because they're working and can't afford to live. In fact, we're not even talking about living. They can't afford to survive. And that's not anything that any civilized modern society should have its people go through. It really isn't. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's a governmental problem, if it's that we need to get one government out, put another one in. It just seems that we do go through a constant sort of paradigm shift of red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, kind of the same as they do in the US. And no matter who you put in, the bunch of clowns that come in to run the show usually spend the first year or two blaming the last bunch of clowns for the mess that they left. And then by the time they start to execute their plan, third year in, fourth year in, they get outed, and then another bunch of clowns come in, and that cycle repeats. And the only people that really benefit from this are the actual clowns, because they're taking their pensions, they're claiming mental expenses, and I mean like mental levels of expenses, £1,000 lunches, £10,000 lunches, car payments, home payments, all the rest of it. It all feels like lunacy, and the only people that suffer, the only people that are being stricken to deal with any of the crap that's left over, all the flotsam and jetsam and fallout, are the people that are playing the way the system requires you to play, to live a legal life. The people that pay their taxes, that work, in their regular jobs, pay into the NHS through their national insurance, and then they get stiffed on their pensions. They get stiffed with massive council tax price hikes. They get told that the retirement age is moving. It feels like it's an ever sort of moving goalpost. I think retirement age when I was a kid was 62. 63 maybe for guys, and then it was 65 for men, and now it's 67. I'm 48, I'm sure, 100%. In the next 10 years, it's going to probably go up to 70. Probably 10 years after that, by the time I'm even close to needing it or able to even get it, it's probably going to be 73, 75. And at that point, you've paid 10 years extra into the tax system. You've paid 10 years extra into NI. So the government is benefiting. And also they're having to pay less out in terms of pension because you're probably going to die quite soon anyway. And there you go. So it feels like the system's rigged, and I hate to say it, I am a massive advocate that anybody that anybody that can work should work. And I really hate it when people are sat on their arses and they're sponging and they're claiming benefits when they could be working and they should be working. And they come up with some fake illness or some Mickey Mouse disease or some made-up mental health reason that they can't work or feel that they shouldn't or whatever. And it feels like that's been exacerbated in recent years, probably by the snowflake generation. But I'm a massive advocate that anybody that can work should work. However, looking at the stats, 1 in 8 people are now working poor. Who are the idiots? Is it me for working 40 hours a week? Let's just say I work 40 hours a week and earn 30 grand a year. Somebody on benefits, if they're faking it, you know, and they can work but just don't fancy it, they can get 20, 21 grand a year in benefits or equivalent in terms of rent paid and everything else. And have those 40 hours to themselves. So who's got the better quality of life? Is it them on 33% less money than me? Or is it me for earning 33% more, but giving up 160 hours a month? You know, it doesn't really compare, does it? I think that I'm the idiot. I must be the idiot for working and paying into a system legitimately and trying to do everything by the book, and then getting stiffed with massive council tax hikes, getting stiffed with ever-increasing bills, getting stiffed with everything that the government can stiff you with. So I try and laugh it off, and to be honest, if you can't laugh, you'd cry, because it does feel like it's a joke. It feels like that the system's so broken at this point that there isn't really any way back. There isn't really any way out. I don't see it getting any better for any of us anytime soon. I'm convinced that my only way out is to leave the UK. I've spoken to various people that have emailed me through my different social media channels. People that are in many different countries, everything from South America to Southeast Asia, Australia, literally all sorts. And they all say the same thing, that leaving the UK was the best move that they ever made. And it's sad. I don't want to leave the country where I was born. I don't want to leave my home country. I don't want to leave family and friends here. But I think you have to be a little bit selfish. You have to appreciate that you've only got the one life, that the kind of reasons for staying around are probably not as important as the reasons to leave. And yeah, so there we go. It's sad. It's sad, but I am, you know, adamant that the UK is absolutely done for at this point. 1 in 8 people working poor. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, like, these aren't made up stats. These have come from charities that actually deal with this on the front line. If the stats had come from the government, you can kind of guarantee that they're going to be fudged a little bit, that the true horror is probably a lot more. I don't think any of this is helped by boat people coming over. That's a whole other video, and there will be one on that soon. But yeah, there you go. So let me know what your experience of this is. Are you one of the working poor? Do you class yourself as working to survive rather than working to live? Are you reliant on food banks and charity, or even universal top-up because of your working situation? How does that make you feel? Does it affect your mental health? What's the toll there? Does it affect relationships? I'm almost certain it does. So look, YouTube's going to put another video there. I'm going to go off and have a little cry. I did actually burn a load of flapjacks earlier. I've got 2 gigs this weekend, and I made flapjacks and consequently didn't watch them properly, and that was it. So there you go. So I'm going to go make some more food. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. More tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.